guys, it's me, Anime Sage, and I'm here to drop my first video on this channel. I'm not new to YouTube, I've done this before. Let's see if I still got it. The Dragon Sani. As Uzumaki Naruto was on his way back to Konoha, he felt the ground beneath him begin to quake. The quakes became more violent until visions were formed in the earth. Off in the distance, he felt an explosion of foul malevolent chakra. Being a Jinchuriki, Naruto was easily able to identify the feel of demonic chakra. "I take it you can feel that, Brad?" came a voice from inside Naruto's head. "I doubt there's anyone in the elemental countries that can't." "QB, what the hell is going on here?" asked Naruto. The Q replied with simply one word. "Akatsuki." "What?" "What you are feeling, Brad, is the chakra of all the Biju, excluding myself, being released at once," replied the QB in a somber tone. "Shit. Well, I gotta get back to Konoha and see what Bachan wants to do." "It doesn't matter, kid," said the QB, interrupting his container, "seeing as the world will be destroyed." "What the hell are you talking about, QB?" shouted Naruto inside his head. As if in response to Naruto's question, the quakes became even more violent than they had been minutes before. Forests were destroyed, villages burned, and mountains crumbled to the ground. Somehow, the Biju Akatsuki captured were released. Demonic chakra is far more potent than your pitiful human variety, as you well know. Your world cannot handle such an amount of demonic chakra being released at once. And as such, this world has begun tearing itself apart. Naruto fell to his knees after hearing this. The information hit him with more force than any of Tsunade's punches. Everyone was gonna die, himself included. It didn't even occur to him if the QB had been lying. Somehow, deep down, he knew the Great Fox Demon was telling the truth. "Iruka-sensei, Ayame, Ichiraku Oji-san, Kakashi-sensei, Yamato-sensei, Kurenai-sensei, Gai-sensei, Lee, Kiba, Shino, Choji, Neji, Ino, Shikamaru, Tenten, Anko, Tamari, Gaara, Hanabi, Sai, Bachan, Erosani, Sakura-chan, and Hinata-chan." As his thoughts rested on his girlfriend, his heart felt like it would rip in two when he thought about her dying. They say when you're about to die, you see your life flash before your eyes. When Naruto flashed back to the events that led him and Hinata together. Just over 1 year ago, Team 7 had their final reunion with their long-lost teammate. And it was an event that Uchiha Sasuke did not survive. Encounter, oh my god. Yo, I'm telling you guys, I haven't done this in a while, so it's mixed with like a little nervousness, with a little like, why am I messing up these easy words, you know what I mean? But I digress, let me get back into it. A small group of Konoha ninja had launched an assault on a compound of the Snake Sani in Orochimaru. While Jiraiya, Tsunade, Kakashi, and Yamato dealt with Orochimaru and Kabuto, Naruto and Sakura were left to deal with Sasuke. He was furious when Naruto told him that he had already killed Itachi and that Orochimaru kept it from him. Sasuke retaliated to running his Kusanagi grass cutter through that one person that loved him more than life itself, Haruno Sakura. Luckily, the wound wasn't fatal, and Sai was able to deal with the wound. However, the fact that Sasuke had tried to kill Sakura sent Naruto over the edge, and he finally went all out and threw their friendship out the window. And when everything was said and done, Futon, Rising Rasengan, when released Spiring Spear, is infinitely more powerful than Chidori, Thousand Birds. So it was that Naruto had finished what Itachi had started. The Uchiha clan was wiped off the earth forever. Afterwards, Sakura quit as a shinobi and fell into a deep depression. She shut herself off from everybody for 3 whole months. Naruto assumed that Sakura had hated him for killing Sasuke and began to fall into depression himself. But throughout all the aftermath of Sasuke's death, Hinata was there for him. Within a few weeks, Naruto came to terms with what had happened and was back to his usual self. Hinata and Naruto continued to spend lots of time together, and a month later, Naruto fulfilled one of Hinata's greatest desires. Hinata got her first kiss from Naruto, and aside from the protests of the Hyuga elders, whom were quickly dealt with by Tsunade, it had been smooth sailing ever since. Tears started to form in Naruto's eyes, but sadness was quickly replaced with unbridled fury towards those responsible for the founding of the Akatsuki, Konan, Pain, and Uchiha Madara. But there was other things to deal with at the moment, so he quickly pushed those thoughts out of his head. He then asked the Kyuubi properly the most important question of his life. Hey Kyuubi, is there anything we could do to fix this? The Kyuubi was silent for a moment, and Naruto waited for his answer. Rather than yell and scream as he was known for. Well, Brett, there's something we could try, but it is incredibly dangerous and will most likely result in both of our deaths. As if sensing what Naruto was about to ask, the Kyuubi answered before Naruto could even ask the question. Time travel. Baka Fox, everybody knows that time travel is impossible, claimed Naruto angrily. It is impossible for you humans, and yet that hasn't stopped you from trying for generations, said the Kyuubi with disdain. However, there's a demonic technique that allows travel through time. The problem, however, lies in the fact that you are not a demon, and there is not enough time to properly prepare the technique. So what does that mean then? Well, even if you are a mere human, knowing you, that would prove to be no problem. However, the technique entails a complicated set of seals drawn on the ground in concentric circles, which we don't have time to do properly. Basically, since the seals will be incomplete, we will probably both die, said the Kyuubi seriously. Well, you know me, Kyuubi, said Naruto to his tenant. I've been defying the odds all my life. Let's do it. Inside his cage, the Kyuubi began carving out a series of seals with his claws, but time was of the essence, and many of the seal circles were improperly aligned, while others were left incomplete. I sure hope this works, because I have no intentions of passing to the afterlife with this Gaki. Within minutes, the Kyuubi had drawn in all the seals he thought he had time for. Naruto notes that the sky had turned blood red and the severity of the techniques continued to increase. He also noted a faint orange glow coming from the direction of Konoha. Alright, Brat, we're as ready as we're gonna be, so first I'm gonna pour my chakra into the seals to activate them. Then I'm gonna force out as much of my chakra as I can through the seal to hopefully create a tear in time. Hopefully this will work and we won't end up dead. Well, let's get this show on the road then, said Naruto. One thing before I start. Since the seals are incomplete, I have no idea where we will end up in the past if this works. Oh, and this will hurt worse than anything you have ever experienced. Naruto was about to respond to the Kyuubi when suddenly he felt the Kyuubi release more of his chakra than ever before. And true to his word, Naruto found himself in more pain than he had ever thought humanly possible. It felt like his entire body was burning from the inside out. Demonic chakra seemed to just spring forth from Naruto and erupt into the sky. Naruto was in so much pain that he just wanted it all to end. Suddenly he noticed something odd in front of him. It looked like the space in front of him was beginning to tear. Slowly but surely, the tear began to get wider and wider, until it was about 3 times as tall as Naruto. Inside the tear, there was a swirling mass of multicolored energy. Just hang on for a few more seconds, kid. Almost done. Suddenly, the energy expanded outward and completely enveloped Naruto. He felt himself being pulled forward into the tear, and then everything went blank inside Naruto's mindscape. The unconscious form of Kazama Uzumaki Naruto was face down in front of the Kyuubi's cage. Slowly, he began to stir and push himself up to a sitting position. Now that you are awake, Brat, welcome to the past, said the Kyuubi. What? You mean it actually worked? We're not dead? Naruto asked the Kyuubi eagerly. No, Brat, we are not dead, replied the Kyuubi while snickering. However, there are a few more complications. First off, we are much further back than we should be, decades before you were born. I'm not certain exactly how far, but luckily we're only a mile or two from Konoha. So it won't be too hard to find out. After spending 70 years with the Kyuubi, Naruto could say that he knew the fox pretty well. Years of deception and plots to gain freedom had granted Naruto unique insight to the demon, so he knew there was something the Kyuubi wasn't telling him. Well, at least I'm alive. I'll deal with the other stuff when I make it to Konoha. So how about you tell me whatever it is you're trying to keep from me? The Kyuubi bared his fangs with what could be considered a sly grin. Indeed, he found it increasingly more difficult to keep things from his vessels over the years. You're not as dumb as you look anymore, brat. It seems that somehow the time travel process has separated us. I am finally free from you. A look of pure terror washed over Naruto as he began to consider the implications of what this could mean. Although the two had gotten along better in recent years, Naruto knew that the Kyuubi would still devour him and probably destroy Konoha if given the chance. The beautiful stench of fear. You don't know how long I've waited to see you fear me, brat. But luckily for you, I won't be sticking around to devour you. What the hell do you mean? Asked Naruto. From the first day I met you, it's been one day I will free myself from this prison and devour you. Blah blah blah. Indeed, normally I would seriously consider devouring you, but there is no need for that. I can feel my soul gradually leaving your body and merging with my own body in this time. After the process is complete, it seems I will be returning to the demon world. So I suppose you and your village lucked out, stated the Kyuubi simply. Realization slowly washed over Naruto's face. So you mean, yes, you won't have to worry about me stopping by the day you are born, as I will be leaving this world permanently. Just don't ask me how a doorway to my world is opening or why we're being separated. I couldn't begin to tell you. I don't believe it. I'm gonna be normal. Nobody calling me a demon brat. No Akatsuki coming after me. I'll just be Naruto. Plain and simple. So as you know, over time our chakras have been merging, and as such the healing properties I've granted you over the years will remain once I'm gone. And as you know, do this, you will live longer and age slower than most humans. But I want to leave you with one more parting gift, so to speak. Suddenly, Kyuubi's claws shot out from between the bars, and one impaled Naruto right through the seal. Suddenly, a spiraling column of demonic chakra erupted from Naruto's body. Once again, Naruto felt like he was on fire, but he noticed the chakra slowly began from being red to a purple color, and then it began to turn blue and be absorbed into his body. Again, Naruto lost consciousness due to the pain. Gradually, the Kyuubi began to fade from sight. Well, brat, it's been pretty interesting. Don't take this the wrong way, but I hope we never meet again as long as we live, said the Kyuubi before he, along with the cage that had once contained him, faded completely. R.I.P. Kurama, man. He's not dead. When Naruto regained consciousness, he found himself in a bed staring at a white ceiling. Damn it. I would recognize the Konoha hospital no matter what time I'm in, Naruto thought to himself while groaning slightly. Well, young man, I see that you have finally woken up, spoke a voice that Naruto found vaguely familiar. Slowly, Naruto sat up in his bed and turned towards the door to his room to see who it was that had spoken to him. When he finally saw who it was, his eyes went wide with shock. Granted, he was much, much younger than he was in Naruto's time, but he could recognize this person anywhere. Oji-san, was that you? Naruto asked weakly. Standing in the doorway of Naruto's hospital room was indeed Sarutobi, but going from what Naruto remembered from history lessons, the Sarutobi before him was in his prime. Naruto heard someone chuckle from behind Sarutobi before speaking. Well, Saru, this boy's lack of respect aside, he seems to recognize you. As Sarutobi stepped aside, Naruto's eyes went even wider, if that was possible, as a figure stepped into a room that Naruto had only seen pictures of. In front of him was the man who had helped his older brother establish Konohagakure no Sado, the village hidden in the leaves. Standing in front of him was the Nai-Daime Hokage. Well, guys, that was just the first chapter, pretty good. I like this little run through, I enjoyed it. I feel pretty good. think I'm finally ready to get back in the swing of this. But that was only 14 minutes, so you already know I could throw down another one. Alright guys, it's chapter 2, The Dragon Tani. Let's get right into it. Holy shit. That was the only thought going through Naruto's head as he looked right at a young Sarutobi and the Nine-Daime Hokage. When the QB said there was no telling how far back he might end up, this was definitely not what he had in mind. That line of though led Naruto to notice that his mind felt a bit less crowded than usual. Wait a minute, where the hell is the QB? For someone so used to having another presence inside of his head, the inability to contact the QB alarmed him for a moment. Then he remembered the QB telling him that should the technique be successful, they would be forever separated. The voice of the Night Dame, however, pulled Naruto from his thoughts. Well, I'm glad to see y'all are up and about. Naruto couldn't help but hesitate briefly when the Night Dame asked for his name. Crap, what am I gonna do? I can't say the name Uzumaki because Uzunokuni, Whirlpool Country, and my mother's family are still around in this time. But I can't call myself Namikaze Naruto because when Irosani takes his team, people might see him and think I'm my own father. So Naruto did what he always does in situations like this. He did what he does best. He acted on instinct and made something up. Naruto. Kazama Naruto, replied the blonde. Well, allow me to introduce myself. I'm the Nine-Daime Hokage, the leader of Konohagakure no Sado. The village suddenly leaves. And this is my former student, Sarutobi. Now that you are awake, Naruto, I hope you are well enough to tell us a few things about you. Naruto nodded, and the Nine-Daime took this as a sign to continue. You see, a strange flash of light was reported early this morning near the training grounds. This light was followed by a massive surge of chakra, and then you were found by Sarutobi, where the chakra surge was reported, and he found you with these. The Nine-Daime held out his hand and showed Naruto the necklace Tsunade had given to him, as well as the remains of his Hitaite. Naruto was at a loss. He had just assumed he would end up at some point in his past, not decades before even his father was born. I always assumed that I would have to explain a few things to Oji-san. He would know I was lying, but would still trust me anyway. He was at a crossroads. He could either tell the truth about what had happened and be declared insane, or he could lie. Tough decision. I came from a small village near the borders of Fire Country. I came to Konoha in hopes of becoming a shinobi, said Naruto, hoping the two men would accept what he was telling them. Did you know? Said the Nine-Daime while smiling. Did you now? Said the Nine-Daime while smiling. Well, I would assume you've had previous training then. However, you still have to be tested. You will be released from the hospital today, and an aspiring shinobi will need some equipment. At this, Sarutobi tossed Naruto a small pouch that was filled with money, along with a scroll with an address. That scroll is the address of the hotel you'll be staying at for now. Use the money to buy some clothes and equipment. Then meet me at Training Ground 13 in 3 hours. As Naruto walked through the streets of Konoha, it was becoming clearer and clearer that this was not his Konoha. Nobody was looking at him like it was a crime simply for him to be breathing. Some shop owners were even greeting him as he walked down the street. He was simply a newcomer to the village. The biggest reminder that he was no longer in his time was when he walked to Ichiraku Ramen out of habit only to discover that it wasn't there. He remembered that Teuchi was younger than the Sandaime in his time, which would make him even younger than Naruto was right now. Ichiraku Ramen won't exist for decades, thought Naruto to himself as tears welled up in his eyes. After observing a moment of silence for the loss of Ichiraku Ramen, Naruto decided to eat at a BBQ place before going to buy some clothes and supplies. Finishing his lunch, Naruto entered a shinobi supply store, but he was a bit unsure what to buy as far as clothing. He was no longer a chunin, so the traditional Konoha shinobi outfit he wore in the future was out. But he had finally realized that orange was not an appropriate color for a shinobi, so going back to one of his 2 orange jumpsuits was also out. He finally decided on black shinobi sandals along with standard black shinobi pants with ankle wrappings and the outfit was completed with a form-fitting mesh undershirt and a black gi with silver along the lapels in color. As with everything Naruto wore, he had a red spiral sewn on the back of his gi. After owning a few extra copies of his outfit, he also bought a fully stocked supply pouch, 2 sets of kunai, and jerkin with holsters, exploding tags, as well as small kanji brush, as well as ink. Sorry about that, guys. 2 sets of kunai and shuriken with holsters, exploding tags, as well as a small kanji brush, as well as ink and blank scrolls. Confident he had everything he would need, Naruto paid for his purchases. As he was about to leave, a set of weight bands caught his eye. He used the last of his money he had to purchase the weights before deciding to find his hotel room. Once Naruto found his hotel room, he proceeded to get ready to meet Sarutobi later. As he finished getting ready, he put the rest of his purchases away before realizing he was already late. He was already 10 minutes late. Suddenly, a brief memory of a certain gray-haired sensei of his flashed to his mind, and he smirked. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll try it just once, just to see why Kakashi Sensei enjoyed doing it so much. 30 minutes later, where in the world could he be? This was the thought going through Sarutobi's mind as he continued to wait for Naruto, who was already 40 minutes late. What kind of aspiring shinobi would be late to their own getting exam? He was pulled from these thoughts as the certain blonde finally arrived at the training ground. Yo. I said that so wrong. Yo. Wait. Yo. Yo. Naruto, where have you been? Asked Sarutobi in a somewhat annoyed tone. You are 40 minutes late. Sorry about that. I got lost on the road to life, said Naruto, perfectly mimicking the trademark excuse of his former, or rather future sensei. In the future, a gray-haired shinobi sneezed. I guess I should go to my team. That didn't actually happen. Sorry. I'm sorry. The man who would become the Sandaime Hokage sweat dropped upon hearing Naruto's ridiculous excuse for his lateness. Now that he's here, Saru, I guess we can get started, said an amused Nadaime Hokage as he emerged from the forest. Why is Tobirama so fucking happy? He's not supposed to be that happy. What's going on? So the two shinobi took Naruto through the various portions of the Genin exam. They were quite impressed with the exception of his above-average ranking with the Genjutsu. He performed exceptionally in all other areas. Had he been at the academy, he might have beat out Orochimaru for Rookie of the Year, thought Sarutobi to himself. All that was left now was the ninjutsu exam. Alright, Naruto, you've done a great job so far. All that's left is the ninjutsu portion of the exam. We have to perform Kararumi, substitution, bunshin, clone technique, and a head transformation, explained Sarutobi. Without missing a beat, Naruto disappeared in a puff of smoke, and in his place was a log. He then emerged from the forest just behind where they were all standing. As for bunshin clone technique, I've always been unable to perform that jutsu, but Naruto performed a familiar cross-shaped seal and cried out, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone. Another Naruto suddenly popped into existence right next to the original and grinned at the Hokage and future Hokage in front of him. He can perform Kage Bunshin? Who in the world is this boy? Were the thoughts of the two as they had looked at Naruto in awe. Well done, Naruto. Alright guys, sorry about that again. Where was I? Well done, Naruto. Now finally, please perform a hench transformation. As soon as their grin appeared on Naruto's face, the two didn't quite understand why, but for some reason that grin filled them with fear. But before either could figure out why, Oroke on no ko dosu no jutsu. Double knockout girls technique. Yeah. There was a puff of smoke, and when it cleared, Sarutobi and the Naidame were not ready for what they saw. In front of them were two 19-year-old girls with pigtails. But what really caught their attention was the fact that both girls were very shapely and very nude. They never had a chance. Ah! Both men screamed as they were propelled backwards into a tree, thanks to the stream of blood coming from each of their noses. They both slid down the tree and slipped into unconsciousness, with lecherous grins on their faces. Suddenly the girls vanished and left behind an extremely amused-looking Naruto. Geez, maybe I should have used a Roke no Jutsu instead. My ultimate pervert technique might have been too much for them. It took a few minutes, but the two eventually recovered. Needless to say, Naruto passed the exam with flying colors. The new black hitaite around his forehead marked Naruto as a shinobi of Konoha. Well, Naruto, congratulations on becoming a Konoha Genin Sunday Hokage. You can meet your team tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock at Training Ground 7. Alright then, see you old guys later, said Naruto as he turned to leave. Oh, and Naruto, said the Hokage to his new shinobi, that technique and other hentai jutsu of yours are all now S-ranked, forbidden jutsu. Naruto's hotel room. After he had left the training grounds, Naruto went to eat some dinner and then went straight back to his hotel, where he was left alone to his thoughts, and then it hit him. He was all alone again. He tried to tell himself over and over that they hadn't died, rather they had not been born yet. But it was all the same to him. Alone was alone. The life that he had in Konoha was gone forever. Eventually, Kazama Naruto would be born. He would have a happy childhood, a mother and father who loved him. Everyone in Konoha would respect him as the son of Yodaime. Eventually, he would follow in his father's footsteps and become a shinobi. One day, he might even fall in love with Hyuga Hinata. And while Kazama Naruto could grow up and do these things, it wouldn't be him. Try as he might, Naruto couldn't stop the tears from falling. Suddenly, he realized that this wasn't going to fix anything. I'm always saying that I would do anything for my precious people, aren't I? Sitting here bitching and moaning isn't going to fix anything. I have a chance to change things in the past, so their future will be different. So what if I have to sit back and watch? His old life was gone, and he would have to come to terms with that, because that life would belong to someone else. However, even though his old life was gone, that didn't mean that he couldn't make a new one here, in this time. As the thoughts in his head started taking a more positive turn, Naruto drifted off to sleep. Hokage's office. Konoha was a relatively new shinobi village, but even so, the Nadaime Hokage was already becoming somewhat of a legend. He had helped found Konoha with his older brother, and he was feared in battle due to his Raijin blade and his ability to use Suiton Jutsu without a water source. As great a warrior as he was, the greatest enemy of all Kages managed to defeat him every time. Paperwork. It was an unrelenting enemy that had never diminished and had an infinite number of allies. So when Sarutobi came to his office, he was very grateful for the distraction. Busy with paperwork again, I see, Hokage-sama. Saru, how many times must I tell you that it's not necessary to address me that way? Said the Nadaime, jokingly. Now I assume you come with a report? Yes, Sensei. We have pushed the enemy back deeper into their territory than we had anticipated. They have also suffered significant losses. Yes, said the Hokage thoughtfully as he stroked his chin. It appears that we can finally put an end to all this bloodshed. Have another battalion ready to move out with me tomorrow morning. Hopefully we can convince them to sign a treaty rather than be forced to destroy them. Do you really want to do it after this war? Do you really mean to do it after this war is over, Sensei? Yes, I think the end of a war is fitting. Is a fitting change. Is a fitting time for change. The next generation is ready to take over. Besides, Saru, I think you'll make a fine Hokage. You are already known throughout the shinobi world as the professor and the god of shinobi. And most importantly, you would do anything to protect your village and its people. Sarutobi was happy that his former sensei had so much faith in him. He had been selected to become the Sandaime Hokage over his major rival for the position, Danzo. I'll try my hardest to live up to you in the Shodaime's faith in me. Now, what about Naruto? Sarutobi. Well, the fact he was lying Well, the fact he was lying about where he came from aside, he seems to be highly skilled as a shinobi. Should he prove to be loyal, I think we can expect great things out of him. Great things from him in the future. It's strange, Sensei, began Sarutobi. We both know he wasn't telling the truth about where he came from, but I'm not worried about him being a possible spy. I can't explain it, but I just know I can trust him. But I honestly hope your intuition is correct. In either case, you'll be able to keep an eye on him from now on. The, the first 4-man squad in Konoha's history, you have your work cut out for you, Saru. The alarm in Naruto's hotel room went off, and without so much as a groan, he got up and went into the shower. Spending two and a half years constantly traveling with Jiraiya, he had been woken up many times at odd hours in the morning. As such, getting up early was no longer a problem anymore. He briefly entertained the idea of being late again. After trying once, he could see why Kakashi did it so much. It was fun seeing people's reactions to his excuses, but seeing as it would be his first time meeting his team, he decided it would be better to make a good impression. So he got dressed, went up for some breakfast, and then began to make his way to training ground 7. It was a bit early, so he walked leisurely through Konoha towards his meeting place. It was going to be strange seeing that training ground again without that. Naruto amused himself. As he arrived at the training ground, he froze in shock at what he saw. He had never expected this to happen. Why in the hell didn't I expect this? They were both there when I called Sarutobi Oji-san, so it makes sense for them to put me on a team with someone I was familiar with, even if they didn't know how. Well, Naruto, welcome to Team 7. Sarutobi then introduced him around. He had thought Jiraiya was lying when he told him that Tsunade was flat-chested as a genin, given her future development. But lo and behold, there she was, flat-chested and all. Naruto was thankful that Orochimaru wasn't very talkative. He had greeted him and said hello, but that was all. It took everything Naruto had to keep his face blank and keep from projecting killer intent at the future stink Sani. But he had. But after he met Orochimaru, he noticed that someone was missing. Well, Naruto, it appears your final teammate is late. Sarutobi never got to finish his sentence due to a smoke bomb that went off in front of them. Naruto's sweat dropped. He knew what was coming. Sure enough, as the smoke began to clear, he heard a voice. Behold, Konoha's greatest shinobi and master of stealth, the one whose supreme manliness and good looks can woo women twice his age, the great Jiraiya-sama, has arrived. I can't believe he does things when he's 50 that he used to do when he was 12. Naruto couldn't help but laugh as he looked at his future sensei. Sure, his unruly white hair was much shorter, as were the red markings under his eyes, but he was still Jiraiya. I wonder if he already peeks at the hot springs at this age. Knowing him, the answer is probably yes. Though Naruto to himself, well, new kid, I see you've already met Orochimaru and Flatchest over here. This time it was Jiraiya who didn't get to finish his sentence, courtesy of a punch from Tsunade that planted him on the ground. Pervert! I told you to stop calling me that. It's not my fault I haven't developed yet, Jiraiya Baka, screamed Tsunade. Unknown to the two of them, but both Sarutobi and Naruto had the same thought going through their head as they watched what was happening in front of them. This is going to be interesting. Alright guys, again I just want to apologize for the stops. First video I'm already messing up. It's kind of crazy. But, that was the end of the second chapter. Again, I feel really good, so I'm going to try to do 2 more chapters tomorrow. Just keep it like that until I finish the series. I mean, it's only 6 chapters, so they're both pretty short. So, other than that, see y'all later.